approaching the halfway point of the calendar for the ChampCar iRacing series. It's round 6 from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, bringing you live coverage on HJBC and ChampCar Live. We're so excited for tonight's racing. David Haynes with Devin Peters and Michael Derby. A look at the circuit and what's ahead of us. 10 turns at a very, very high average speed, loaded corners racetrack. Not too much wind out there. 2.4 miles of racetrack and a 1-hour race with a required pit stop. Ahead of us, we're racing the Toyota GR86. Devin Peters, it all is set up for a really exciting close race.
Oh, what a beautiful day for motorsport. The moose are calling, the geese are out, and the race cars are zipping around the track.
The moose don't call you like sheep call Welsh people, do they? Or are you all good?
I would like a video of a person who successfully romanticizes a moose, because that'll be I'm getting a word from the producer here. We gotta change the subject. Danes, it's gonna be a good day of racing out here at the racetrack. We got some really polite race cars heading around the track. We got Michael Polisek leading the qualifying session here. He's on the outside of TJ Yankee coming up the hill.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And so we hope for a good race, for everyone to thoroughly enjoy themselves. The ChampCar iRacing series joins the world of sim racing to the world of real-world endurance racing in the ChampCar Endurance Series. One of the ways we do that is it's a great league to be a part of, meet real ChampCar racers, ask them how they go about things, link up, make friends, make connections, but also we've got great prizes on offer. Like the winner of this season-long championship will be receiving ChampCar Endurance Series credit to put them behind the wheel in a real endurance race. Michael Polisek leads the points at the moment, but I'm sure he'd still love that prize. He was racing at Watkins Glen just a week and a half ago, and I'm sure he'll be doing plenty more racing in 2026 if he can keep up the great form that he's got in this qualifying session right now. Before we get into our 1-hour race, that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he says he's a front-wheel drive specialist, but he's shown quite a bit of proficiency with the rear-wheel drive cars on the calendar as well so far this year. But Josh Soto has, done his fair share of winning in the series too, and he's here tonight running in second place, just a few tenths of a second off. Definitely few enough tenths that the draft around this big old fast track could make a big difference. So I'm curious to see if he'll be able to make the difference up. And, of course, we got Jared Collins, he's second in the points. We got Ryan Puckdell, Alex Harrison, all these guys that are showing up every single round. And it's a good idea to show up because, of course, the ChampCar iRacing Series isn't all about being fast. Is it, David Haynes?
No, we've already drawn one of the first prizes of the year. It went to someone who's going to be able to use it, because I believe it went to Jeffrey Rockwell. So everyone who takes part in this group of 4 races will go into the draw to also win some ChampCar Endurance Series credit. Puckdell currently third. There are currently 32 drivers with qualifying times. 2 that don't are Bill Salin of New York and Christopher Reagan of Ohio.
Good complement of Canadians out there on the grid. We got Matt McGee running lucky number 13 right now. We'll see if he can move that car a little bit further up the grid. Getting a little loose coming out of the Clayton turn there. I think that was. And then keeping it on the straight and narrow through Quebec. You always got to do that. And we got another few Canadians out on the grid. I think I saw was that, we got the whole crew. Stephen Hermetz, Brian Tidd, John Nicholford all running together, 25, 26, 27th. And then Cindy Picot down in 31st place.
And Lance Stroll couldn't be here because he's having surgery on his wrist.
Yeah, I heard moose incident maybe.
Oh, did a moose bite his sister once?
It's you look at a situation like that, you just go, I loved you, sister. It was nice to know you. But yeah, it's always great racing around here at Mosport, and I'm not just saying that as a Canadian. You know, it's high speed, it's high risk. You got the challenge in first turn, you got the slow hairpin, and the danger braking zone into Moss. It's a beautiful place, and you know, home of all the Canadian stuff. It's the Canadian Tire Mosport Park, don't you know?
So we're looking at Zach Balthazar, who's currently 23rd. The best lap of 133.1, but what he just did there was a 133.5, so clearly not up to speed, not finding the track or the traffic how he'd like to improve yet further.
Yeah, he said in the preseason interviews that his E36 drove a little bit different than the GRH6, and he wants something with an H pattern, no flappy paddles. So I think he's protesting in this qualifying session.
Well, we used to have a great car with a H pattern gearbox and 3 pedals and a 4.6 litre V8 in it.
Yeah,
we'll still have it for our pace car.
Yeah, we'll have to keep lobbying the iRacing to upgrade that thing.
I think the new Dark Horse R has a H pattern and will probably be coming to iRacing. The new Mustang GT4 certainly is. So it's something to keep an eye on. Not long left in this qualifying session. Looking at who's been improving. Not a whole lot of folks at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like the best of the tires came off and right off the top, and we've heard some interesting things about the tire wear in the pre-race. So we'll see if anyone's able to find a little bit. But I don't know if I see a single green sector. Nick Love just came to the line and put in a decent one, but he's still down in the 20s.
It was more overcast at the start of qualifying, and the sun's come out, which sounds lovely.
Beautiful Canada day in the simulator. Gotta wait a few more weeks till the real one.
See, it says mostly cloudy, but it does not feel mostly cloudy when you look at that. I think the mostly cloudy is going away, and we're heading towards a clear afternoon. Tim Wyer is a driver who could improve. He looks like he's got a nice toe off Ian Giebler. The two of them are going to cross the line together. 7th and 9th. And do they move? No, Tim Wyer, thousandths of a second short of an improvement on that lap. Just then, Ian Giebler, I think, was trying to help him. They didn't find any.
Yeah, Cameron Sennhauser coming to the line. We got the Sennhauser sandwich back on the track. Going to the pits, though. See the other half of the Sennhauser sandwich, Logan, hitting the lane as well.
Oh, Orlando Herald's very wide out of the final corner.
Must have been one of those F1 blue flag situations. And it looks like most of our competitors are done.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's a quick lap around here. Like we pointed out, it's under 2.5 miles, and the average speed is really high with fast corners through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. The only noticeable slow sequence of corners is at Moss, and that then immediately leads you on to the long Andretti back straight and into a sweeping series of S's that close out the lap. So the average speeds here are very, very high. It means that our pole time is 1:31, which is a very, very quick lap. Draws to an end qualifying. We'll look at where we stand in the championship at this point. So it's Michael Polasek up front from Jared Collins, Ryan Puchtel, Aaron Brown, Ryan Carwile, Bill Woods, Paul Darling, Kyle Robertson, Andy Kosick, and Sean Roberts is our top 10 after round 5. Polasek has many, many wins to his name at this point. A perfect 5 rounds would be 250 points. He's on 229. Jared Collins, though, has joined him on the podium many, many times. And we'll see who can challenge him today at Mosport. And momentarily we'll go to the grid here where Polasek, the championship leader, starts on pole. Joining him on the front row is Joshua Soto. Ryan Puchtel and Jared Collins there, 3rd and 4th. Alex Harrison 5th with Aaron Smith in 6th. There's Ian Giebler in 7th. Sean Fritz in 8th. Tim Wire 9th. And Bill Woods is in the top 10 of the points, completes the top 10 of the grid. Cameron Sennhauser and Orlando Harrell are on the next row with Matt McGee and Ryan Carwile behind. Then there's Bowie Sewin and Kevin Collins. They're on row 8. Row 9, TJ Yankee and Colin Lounsbury. I think I've got those rows out of order because row 10 is Aaron Reed and Aaron Brown for an all-Aaron row, 19th and 20th after qualifying. Logan Sennhauser in 21st, Andy Kosick in 22nd, Zach Balthazar 23rd, Nick Love 24th, Steve Hermé, Brian Tidd, John Nicholford, Scott Grinnell, Will Warren and Sean Roberts are the top 30. Just 2 other drivers set qualifying times. It was Cindy Pickett and Kyle Guillory. Bill Salen and Christopher Reagan didn't set qualifying times. 34 Toyota GR86s ready for an hour of racing. And the pace car pulls away from the grid. Our front row pulls away as well. Michael Polasek and Joshua Soto. This being round 6 of the championship. 12 rounds this season. We'll look at where we've been and where we're going and what cars we're racing in. It started on the road course of Indy in the Mazda MX-5 Global Cup car. Then the BMW M2 Racing at Daytona International Speedway. The Toyota GR86 raced at Alton Park. Rounds 4 was Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta in the BMW. Watkins Glen last time out in the Mazda again. We find ourselves in the middle of the schedule here at Mosport in the Toyota GR86. Still got Sebring, Barber, VIR, Mid-Ohio, Brands Hatch, and Road America to come. And then post-October, we'll be getting into a little team endurance series as well. More prizes to be won there across 4 team enduros. Daytona, VIR, Road America, Sebring. It's the big bangers.
Yeah, and as you can see, 4/6 of the schedule that remains will be tracks that you could race at in the Real World ChampCar iRacing series. So it's such a great opportunity, such a great chance to go racing. Haynes and I have both had the experience and loved it, and we're really happy to be able to provide this chance to folks who've got the virtual chops and just need the real world opportunity.
Don't miss the forest for the trees. That's what lines both sides of the back straight. This is the fastest part of the racing track, where these Toyota GR86's slipstream will be most noticeable and prominent. The challenge, though, is that it doesn't lead into a massive wide braking zone for a hairpin at the end of the straight. It leads into this slowly, gradually reducing and tightening series of S's at the end.
And they're starting to tighten things up, getting ready for the start here. It's a tricky start. Late right-hander onto the front straight. So when that flag grows green, these guys got to be ready.
Ford Mustang pace car pulls to pit entry. Michael Polasek and Joshua Soto lead the field through the final corner. The green flag waves and 60 minutes begins, heading down towards turn 1. Polasek with a great start, sweeping through turn 1. Joshua Soto won't be too disappointed with where he sits in second. It's Jared Collins and Ryan Puchtel battling behind in third, as most of the field stays too wide, heading into the left-hander, descending at turn 2.
Tricky corner on cold tires. We got a couple cars wiggling throughout the field, but everyone keeps it pointed the right way so far.
Challenging in these early stages.
plenty of opportunities to go too wide into Quebec, but Moss is a corner that tends to be just one line. We'll see if they get it sorted out.
Slow double apex, tabletop corner, very poor sight lines from the driver's seat as you go in. Not dissimilar to the corkscrew at Laguna Seca or some of those other tracks where sitting at the driver's height, the road drops away and you can't see half of it on the far side of the crest. Most of the field working their way out of there, but not all. Andy Kosick is going backwards.
Yeah, one minty car gets turned around. You might have seen a flash of it in the background. And unfortunately for him, a touch on the exit is all it took to spin it the wrong way. We'll see it here. They all get stacked up on the way into Moss. It's really easy to misjudge that braking zone, and bang, he goes around.
One that completed, they come around quick here. Michael Polisek still leading from Joshua Soto. Jared Collins closing in on third as the unbroken train of Toyota GR86s continues to stretch from the race lead all the way to 15th position. A tiny gap where Colin Lounsbury's moved up into 16th. Aaron Reed and Aaron Brown behind.
One of our early winners is Nick Love. He's running in 19th place right now, up 5 spots from where he qualified, and right on the tail of a battle pack that includes Aaron Brown, Aaron Reed, and Colin Lounsbury. The three of them getting real close together as they came onto the front straight. And I'm going to have a think here that Nick Love wants to go. He's getting racy in the rearview mirrors there. He's got those drivetrainer cars, Bowie Suin and TJ Yankee right behind him. You can see him in the matching liveries, but the battle pack in the middle of the field right now is really intense.
It's his driver perspective. Forgive him if he feels a little hungry right now. He's working his way up through the gears, working his way with this slipstream that gets you so close to the cars behind. At the lead of the race, Ryan Puchtel's down the inside with Jared Collins. Both of them have jumped. Polisek and Soto, a bit of a train forming up front here. Not sure that Soto or Polisek are entirely eager to lead right now, and Jared Collins will. So he's almost got 7 tenths now as he comes onto the front straight, passes the start-finish line, and from 4th on the grid, Jared Collins leads this race at the moment and lays down the fastest lap to boot.
We've seen a little bit of this. The fuel strategy matters a lot in the ChampCar iRacing series, and we've seen run in second place be the goal sometimes. We've also seen it cause a little bit of calamity because the field gets a little bit compressed. So we'll see if Jared Collins up front can make a breakaway, or if the other drivers are going to track him back down. Top 10 are glued together right now. It's great to see.
Yeah, I thought I saw Bill Woods make a move on Tim Wire, now look for a move on Sean Fritz. So Bill Woods is not looking to be particularly patient through Moss Corner. What it's not going to give him is a great run off that corner. Oh, and he makes a little bit of contact with Wire as getting offline. Woods checked himself up, and then Tim Wire was right there. This is that leading group. So Collins still leading us. Michael Polisek has gotten to his rear bumper ahead of Ryan Puchtel. And that group lead over this last little crest along the bumpy back straight.
You're watching the timing screen. You've seen Kevin Collins just have a real bad time down that straightaway. It's really easy. He's a little deep in the field right now, but it's really easy to run wide at Moss and just put 2 tires in the dirt, and that kills all your momentum the whole way up the hill. So we'll have to watch out, see if these guys are pushing it too far.
Pace backs off just a little bit. Ryan Puchtel setting a new fastest lap of the race as he closed in on the top 2.
Yeah, Josh Soto dropping from 2nd place on the grid to 4th place as it runs. And some kind of classic racing going on now. Guys probing, seeing where the other guys are strong, where they're weak, trying to save a little bit of fuel.
Matt McGee, 12th in the field, had a really quick last lap. So he's used the slipstream, tried to catch up towards this leading group. A little bit more compression happening amongst what was a top 10 breakaway, but Cameron Sennhauser and Nat McGee, they have been really, really quick in 11th and 12th and just caught the tail of this leading group. So they're not going to let the leaders get away easily.
Matt McGee using the local knowledge to get around the track. Getting real fast up the hill, getting that big draft off of Cameron Sennhauser. And by my timing screen, 1 through 19 is one big battle.
Sure looks it when you have the long shot down the back straightaway. And now Tim Wire is going to go and obliterate the fastest lap of the race. You can see that actually maybe it is partly cloudy today. Some more clouds have come across what was a really hot racetrack at points in qualifying. The really long, just consistently loaded corners here hurt the tyres, especially when the racetrack is hot as it cools off a little bit. So much time to be gained around the medium and high speed corners of Mosport. But the grass is not particularly grippy, so stay off of that. That's the moose food.
Yeah. It really is tempting to run wide here. Let's check
so,
up.
Who had it? I think Pucktel had it and has lost out. So Jared Collins and Michael Polasek up front. Joshua Soto electing to... Oh, it's Aaron Smith that was trying to push him. Around the outside, I see Alex Harrison side by side with Aaron Smith. Are we going to get a bit of 3 wide at the end of the back straight? Sure feels like it. Smith's the meat in the sandwich here in a really difficult position.
Yeah, they're coming past the lap car, Brian Tidd, right now. He's in that blue and green car, and it's tough. Oh, and it gets wide there. That's Alex Harrison, all 4 off on the entry to the last corner. That's tricky.
Yeah, so that's a moment for the leaders that they weren't expecting to have inside of the first 10 minutes of this race.
Yeah, and again, the checkup at the front of the field has brought the rest of the field back into it again. Brian Tidd just learning his way around, causing a little consternation as the field comes through. Nick Love is still at it. He's making a move right now in 18th place, trying to make a move on Aaron Brown. And Aaron Brown gets the better run. And actually now Nick's going to be defending from Bowie Suin behind. But Love up 6 places already, still our biggest gainer of the race. Well, with maybe one exception, I've just noticed David Haynes. It's Cindy Peacock in 24th place. And she's drafting up the hill, coming past Will Warren. Got to give that a shout out. Another Canadian.
Yeah, they go +8 now for Pickett.
It's a tough corner to hold the outside on, though.
Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? So Will Warren then just pops back ahead. TJ Yankee looking to the inside. That's covered off. Kyle Guillory, the car just behind, as Ian Giebler sets a new fastest lap of the race. You can see that top 10 group aren't hanging around. There's people with their foot down. The pace continues to improve.
Yeah, no one's letting anyone take it too easy at this phase of the race.
This is Sean Fritz just behind Alex Harrison. Fritz has got his Toyota painted how his Ford is.
The little message under the back of the wing is good too. Well, hey, hi, how are you?
So Tim Wire is at risk of being left behind by a top 8 that are picking up the pace. Same's true of Bill Woods. So right now, if you've got a little bit of pace, you've got to use it. Try to catch the leaders. Try to make sure you stay with the leaders in cars like this.
Yeah, the draft almighty important around here.
So Orlando Herald trying to hold off Cameron Senhauser, who's immediately behind him. Ryan Carwile looking down the inside. Colin Lounsbury in behind that. And Aaron Brown all the way out in the grass of turn 1.
Yeah, that's not the fast line around there. Ooh. But it is just back and forth up ahead of him. This is the battle for 12th place that seems to stretch all the way back to 17th, and they are just on top of each other. One running wide up ahead. That's
Bill Woods dropping backwards as he's run a bit wide at Moss, perhaps trying to get by Brian Tidd there. So Matt McGee goes ahead of him.
Yeah, it's such a tricky corner because you can get on the brake so hard as you're coming up the hill, but as you come over the hill, the rear end unloads, and it's really easy, even with the stability control on this thing, to get the rears locked up and then get it all crossed up on the way in. And that has caused a 2x2x2x2 kind of situation through here. Ooh, it's close. I think I saw a little drift from Colin Lounsbury on the inside. He's trying desperately to hold it onto the outside line around Ryan Carwile. And I think the outside has half an advantage here going through 1 because he's going to have the advantage down the hill in 2.
There was a squeeze through the change of direction. So then heading into turn 2, you're right that the inside's probably the place to be for Bill Woods. You'll notice that Michael Polasek set a new fastest lap of the race last lap around. So again, those leaders going very, very quickly. Peek down the inside from Orlando Herald. Ooh, Aaron Brown out of shape.
Easy to do when you're under pressure, and it's going to be a push up the hill. Cameron Senhauser is trying to get so much side drafting, he's actually door banging down the straight. And they're coming up on Brian Tidd here, going into the final corner. Good responsible drivers though. Guys driving like they got to fix the things.
Herald round the outside of the penultimate corner, inside of the final corner, opens it up a little bit for Colin Lounsbury, who's next. Lounsbury looks like he's got his nose ahead. Bill Woods will push him and follow that through. They've got the inside to turn 1. Colin Lounsbury barrels in there. You won't really see any brake lights from the straightaway. Oh, the two of them are together. Bill Woods and Brian Tidd.
Oh, and Bill Woods is out in the dirt, losing just boatloads of time out there. Does a really good job to get it back on track as cleanly as he did. But it's a hard circuit to overtake at on the best of times. And if they're not just jumping out your way, you're going to have to work your way around them on the corners.
This is the leading group where that pace has picked up. Jared Collins, Michael Polasek, Ryan Puchtel. Just got a tiny bit of space to Joshua Soto. Beginning to stretch out up front.
Yeah, it does feel like Collins is trying to stretch, trying to, break up that top 8, that top 20 we had at one point. We're 15 minutes into the session and they're all still running, just so close.
Ooh, it's wide out the final corner from Gibbler with Alex Harrison and Sean Fritz following him. They're doing their best to stay with this leading group, which they've done for the first 15 minutes. It's just becoming a little more difficult as the top 3 or 4 drivers put the hammer down.
Yeah, you can see Giebler just trying to carry so much speed. He's over the curbs on the exit on a couple corners consecutively.
You ever been to a Cracker Barrel?
I actually haven't.
No, neither. That's what Alex Harrison is hawking at the moment, stuck between Ian Giebler and Sean Fritz. As that trio are working so hard to try to stay with the top 5. It's tantalizingly right there, the gap between Aaron Smith in 5th and Ian Giebler in 6th. And this is one of the techniques they're going to employ. The Toyota GR 172.
Yeah, they're using every bit of it. And I actually liked the line through there at that time for them. Felt like they closed up a little bit on Aaron Smith.
Yeah, just from this angle, it looks good.
Might be...
It did make a bit of headway.
Yeah, it might be one of those deals like where the peloton kind of pushes away at the front and then closes back up again. You know, just testing to see if those guys in 6, 7, 8, if they actually had the pace to stick with them. And so far they've stood up to the test. They're struggling a bit through the second turn, trying to get it to stick down the hill. And when we do get to the pit stops, there'll be some interesting stuff to watch for. I think we heard some interesting talk strategies. Oh, and I'm seeing an incident. Orlando Harrell in 11th place. He's facing the wrong way. I wonder if we can get a replay on that. And you'll see it here. He's turning right and gets a little loose. And once the car gets stuck, Ryan Carwile gets into him from behind. Once the GR86 gets kind of stuck in one of those slides, the traction control, there you see it again, really just doesn't give you an opportunity to get out of it. Luckily, I think he's able to carry on. Arrow's probably a bit
car in front
aware.
Was clearly sliding before Ryan Carwile got him as well. So, as you say, you get a bit of a slide on, and then the car checks up itself as the traction control gets a little confused once you're too far sideways. So Jared Collins leading the race. So predicting 27 more laps at this pace that they're doing, which is pretty handy.
Well, and on the bright side, these GR86s do have just gigantic fuel cells, right? So if you got to take an early stop, you can at least get back into the race. They'll be really good endurance cars one day once they get cheap enough for us to get our hands on them.
Oh, you excited to buy one in 2035?
I'm already saving up.
Fantastic. Like all Toyotas, it's not quite as reliable as the pop culture wants you to believe, but still sufficiently reliable. So what it will do is hold its value too well for what it actually is. And you will need to save all the way to 2035 to buy yourself a GR86 Cup car. That's if there's still engines left that haven't grenaded themselves of oil starvation in high G right-hand corners. Aaron Brown, Nick Love, Orlando Harrell, and Andy Kosick are a bunch of drivers that have taken early-ish pit stops. So the highest running driver to have stopped at the moment is Aaron Brown. I think he was sort of just behind Orlando Harrell and that group of drivers, and I think deliberately pitted out of that group. And clean air, what are the lap times like? 134.2. Last lap wasn't actually that great for him.
Yeah, he's I saw him jump out and try and just get out of that battle. And that's one of the moves. Who do we got? We got Bill Woods hitting the lane too. So a couple of these drivers deciding that the fresh air is worth more. And if you got the wrong partner for drafting, it can be the case that having some fresh air is worth it.
Oh, is he struggling to get away there? Did not get out of the pit box especially quickly for Bill Woods, who scored us a 14-second stationary time. Takes the pit exit and will try to get up to speed. Super tall first gear in these cars.
Yeah, I was going to say, these cars are kind of notorious for just bogging off the line with that sequential.
Yeah, it's not the road car H pattern gearbox. It's a 6-speed sequential. It's made by someone. I'm going to say Sadev, and I'll sound very clever to people who don't know. And if I'm wrong, then well, I probably already sounded like an idiot to them. So what it does have, yeah, is a very tall racing first gear. Not great for, you know, a gentle hill start at a red light.
Yeah, they don't do none of those.
Ends up just ahead of Aaron Brown after that.
Must say, I am pleased to say, knock on wood, we haven't seen a single car get up on two wheels just yet, which can be a factor in these GR86s. A little bit soft and smushy in the suspension. That's Aaron Reed on the lane.
Speaking of that lane, there are 32 pit stalls for 34 drivers. So a couple of people have got a share, but almost everyone gets their own pit stall. Officially 10 turns around here, 32 pit stalls, and the pit speed is 35 miles an hour.
Ryan Carwile, Matt McGee, and Zach Balthazar, and who else is in there? Having a bit of a trip up the back straight. They were all three wide. That was Colin Lounsbury, the middle car with the Ryobi livery. He's going to the outside actually right now. He's going to try and make a move on Matt. It's a tough move to make around the outside. He'll have to dive back in line. But they were all sorts of three wide there as they were clearing the lap traffic with Zach Balthazar behind him.
Yeah, Balthazar had a long early stop and very easily can begin to put you a lap down.
Yeah, especially around here. It's a good thing there's no full course cautions in this series. And Haynes, it's starting to... See, that's a nice move there. I was going to say, it's starting to look like a top 5, not a top 8 anymore.
Yeah, some good moves being made through the group, but up front, a tiny bit wide from Jared Collins coming off Moss Corner. Second, Buckets on third, Joshua Soto fourth, with Aaron Smith in fifth. This group is still doing sort of low 132s, while everyone else has just begun to sort of approach the 133s, 134s. So they're keeping up really strong pace with Jared Collins up front.
I'm going to call that a lot a bit wide. That was all 4 tires off on the exit there for Collins. That was a spicy way to make its way around the Moss there. This is a little curious. These tires, I don't think they have tons of drop off, but they don't like to get too hot.
Tim Wire pits from 9th. So you had your top 5, you had the next 3, and then you had Tim Wire in space. And he's in.
Yeah, he's our earliest stopper, or sorry, our highest up early stopper so far. Just stops a little short of halfway. Let's see how long this one goes for.
Well, the car went up, the car goes down. 16 seconds on the longer side, but you got to imagine he will be pretty zippy after this stop. This going to have Kevin Collins there, who hasn't stopped yet, but he will be ahead of Bill Woods, the next highest car that's stopped. Woods just going through turn 1 now, so Wire should have some fresh tyres, at least 1 or 2 going on, and in a reasonable pocket of relatively clean air here as well.
Yeah, and without a buddy to draft with, I almost wonder if it was a choice of like, hey, let's roll the dice and see if there's someone I can get a slipstream off of deeper in the field, you know? And maybe the undercut. I know, you know, you want to try and close up that gap, get that fresh tire on, or tires, and make your way.
Alex Harrison in from 7th or so it was.
Yeah, he dips out of the battle that was going on between himself, Ian Giebler, and Sean Fritz. They were squabbling over the back half of the top 10.
Also a 15 or so second stop for Harrison.
Yeah, that might be the sweet spot for these guys that are running a little quicker. He rejoins in the middle of it.
Yeah, so further up the road than Tim Wire, but yeah, in a little more groups of cars that haven't stopped yet between Cindy Pickett and Scott Grinnell.
Oh, and he gets wide, does Harrison. Just as we switched away, he gets all 4 tires off. And that's going to cost him a spot. He was lucky it didn't cost him a corner. He just caught out a little bit by some tire temp. And they're busy at the front, Hayes.
Yeah, Joshua Soto going side by side with Ryan Puchtel. So I think that's Soto moving a spot into 3rd. Still Collins and Polasek leading. Joshua Soto feeling the need to get a move or 2 on. Still a lap and some away from the halfway point of this race. Top 19 cars haven't stopped. Alex Harrison's in 20th and has made his pit stop.
Yeah, the last time by, Polasek and Collins found 3/10 that the other guys didn't have, and so all of a sudden, I think Soto just felt the urgency to get back up and make some ground. Doesn't want to let those 2 get away right before the pit stop.
Well, Joshua Soto is going to push on for everything he's worth right now. Be hoping to close this up. He's pretty close to Polasek, but he's beginning to experience, actually a few of them are beginning to experience just a few little technical problems.
Yeah. You know, the internet up here in Canada, a little inconsistent. Seen some of it show up there.
Maybe simultaneously lightning struck New Jersey and Florida for Polasek and Soto.
Yeah, though, it must be said, Soto absolutely crushed the braking zone into loss. I think he gained 4/10 just going into there alone.
Chance this could be a pretty quick lap for him.
Oh, sure enough.
Right, yep, he's best of the race, so he's given it all. We've got a car that they're just about to put a lap down, exiting pit lane. Will Warren, I think it might have been. He's just pitted, so has Bill Salen. And so had Steve Hermé. I reckon that was Will Warren. That these leaders will be happy to be clear of as he was exiting pit lane. They swooped around the outside of him through turn 1. And these kind of long, fast corners really do feel like swooping. Those guys that have pitted a little bit earlier, Tim Wire 33.2, Alex Harrison 33.3, Bill Woods 33 flat. So that's, I guess that matches what Giebler and Fritz are doing in 6th and 7th, but it does not match what this top 5 are doing, where they've kept their tempo up well and truly.
Yeah, the top group has been pushing along. You know, our biggest gainer so far isn't actually in the top 5. It's a little further down. You have to look at Colin Lounsbury. He's running 8th place. He's getting pushed along by Matt McGee. We'll see. Matt's just gone and hit the lane, so it'll now be a 2-person battle. Be curious to see where Matt McGee cycles out, if he ends up in that same battle pack as Harrison.
Well, Tim Wire would be hoping to still be ahead of him. So he'll want to be ahead of Bill Woods and Nick Love. If he's done a really good job, he'll be near to Tim Wire. Here is Bill Woods and Nick Love, 2 drivers that have already stopped. There comes Tim Wire.
So maybe there is something to an undercut here, because that looks like it's worked out.
Well, Tim Wire was like 9th before he pitted, and before anyone pitted, Matt McGee was sort of like 11th or 12th. So I think that's about equal.
Even. Yeah. Either way, our leaders will have a chance to make the call to jump in as they come into the final set of turns here.
Yeah, every time they make this left-hander, you're looking for someone to push wide and then just make a late dive into that pit entry. But it's not happening for these leaders, because they're still going quickly, still going very quickly. They've still got clean track in front of themselves for the moment, so they'll run as long as they can until they need to stop. 32.2 matches Jared Collins' best of the race, so he still has pace to use, and he's still using it, which is much to the advantage of these drivers that are able to follow him.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what his fill is going to look like compared to the other guys, because he's been working hard on that car the whole time he's been out there. But it is also a track where track position just matters, you know, like it's so hard to make a move into some of these corners. You have the opportunity up the back straight if you can get right there, but otherwise it's tough. So settling in as we get across the halfway point. "25-ish minutes to go, and waiting for the next move in the chess game to fall."
Magnus Carlsen doesn't like F1. He thinks it's boring, which is very rich coming from a guy who plays chess for a living. That's
would
fine.
watch
Different strokes for different folks.
I was gonna say I'd watch the F1, intro where they put Magnus Carlsen in an F1 car and then have him play some chess online. I'd giggle about that. Even in one of the IndyCar dual seaters, I'd accept that.
It's lights out, and his rook moves forward. His queen into check. Something like that.
I've got the
more
pitch.
stops happening.
Who do we got there?
Give me the pitch quickly. Come on.
Okay, so you put him in a speed chess match, 3-minute clock, both sides, and then you put him for 3 laps around Coda, 4 laps around Coda, and you put Lewis Hamilton in the driver's seat. Do you see how he does? Trying to focus while the race is going on, while the driving's going on. Anyway, I'd have a giggle.
Lots of pictures of people playing chess on roller coasters, if that's the kind of excitement you're looking for. The race leader coming to pit lane, followed by Aaron Smith. excites me, while Michael Polasek, Joshua Soto, and Ryan Puchtel stay out, looking to overcut this group. What kind of service is Jared Collins going to have to take, having led the field the whole last sort of 25, 30 minutes of this race? Ian Giebler also follows in, and I reckon we're going to get a couple more takers in the next 1 or 2 laps until everyone is done. Moves past 10 seconds for Collins, moves past 13 seconds, and now he's on his way. So is Aaron Smith. So that seems relatively competitive as a pit stop time, even for the race leader.
Yeah, that's right on par with what we've been expecting. And the two of them are going to filter out right behind Logan Sennhauser and Zach Balthazar that haven't stopped yet. So they'll either have to make some moves or hope for a quick pit stop from those two. Meanwhile, the leaders are coming up the back straightaway. Michael Polasek leading Josh Soto and Ryan Puchtel. And neither of them getting quite the separation. Polasek and Soto separated from Puchtel, but when Collins hit the lane, he had 5 car lengths, 7 car lengths. Both of them carrying on though, and I think they were able to save a lot of fuel by hanging out in that draft. Oh, big runoff there from Soto. Managed to just get it pointed the right way though.
Aaron Smith and Jared Collins with just a tiny bit of traffic. Got Logan Sennhauser, who hasn't stopped yet. I think they might have worked their way past Zach Balthazar. That's way out into the grey in the marbles for Collins, who's trying to push on. Sean Fritz pits. And this group, leading cars, work their way through as Logan Sennhauser. It's time for him to pit.
Yeah, and it's starting to look a bit like a ChampCar race. There's just lap traffic. Lots of guys running lots of different races at this point. Logan Sennhauser's in the lane, watching him there.
Kyle Guillory's coming in, which is going to leave us with just our top 3 that haven't stopped. Michael Polasek, Joshua Soto, Ryan Puchtel, who spent all of the first stint of this race following in the tow of Jared Collins. That's where Sennhauser's going to rejoin.
As I say, as Sennhauser's rejoining, Nick Love's swinging by, and he's done well for himself through the stops.
Puchtel's dropping back. Polasek's needing to defend Joshua Soto right here. So suddenly it gets a bit spicy between these two. They're at bumper to bumper as they both head for pit entry. As I say, they've dropped Ryan Puchtel on this lap. They will be nose and tail heading into pit lane. It'll be about the pit cruise. It'll be about the strategy and the run off the lane.
I'm not going to lie. I think Polasek took a defensive line into the pit lane because Soto was right on him.
Well, first and second in qualifying, first and second in the pit lane.
Soto had to back up. Soto ran it deep, and he had to back up into the box. That's going to cost him.
Oh, and he's up on the jacks while the other two are already rolling. 11.4 seconds for Polasek and Puchtel. Polasek maintains the race lead. And, Joshua Soto, long stop, really long stop.
10 seconds extra. I feel like that is 4 tires. We'll have to see how that pays off for him. Meanwhile, Jared Collins and Ryan Puchtel are neck and neck with Michael Polasek driving off into the distance. And that's our leader, folks.
Yeah, with everyone having stopped, Polasek has 3 seconds over Jared Collins, Ryan Puchtel, and Aaron Smith, who are all together. Sean Fritz, 13 seconds behind the race leader, is just in front of Joshua Soto.
Oh, and Collins had a moment here on the exit of Moss. Goes all 4 tires off and carries it actually a long way down. Was lucky not to get into the wall. Cost himself a lot of momentum. He's now racing behind Aaron Smith with Ryan Puchtel leading in second place. Polasek might have just made the move.
20 minutes to hold on to a 3.5-second race lead.
Gotta hope that there's no lap traffic that doesn't cooperate, but Polasek's showing that he has the pace to do it consistently this season.
Yeah, he's got a bit of speed. He's got to unleash it now. Smith and Collins are the drivers that I think took tyres. They're behind Puchtel, who didn't. Does that seem represented here? Second, third, fourth.
The other factor here is we saw drivers running in the mid 132s, but we know that flat out on qualifying laps, this car will do mid 131s. So if Soto can find anything like that kind of pace, 0.7 a lap, he's got to make up 10 seconds. I think the podium's still in reach.
Looks like Joshua Soto pushing Sean Fritz. Looks like Aaron Smith getting ahead of Ryan Puchtel into second place. Could be pretty critical. As now Joshua Soto says, I pushed you the length of the straight. Can you please let me go ahead and bring you with me? And I think that's what happens there. Now it's Aaron Smith's job to try to stop the race leader getting too far away.
Yeah, that's a split I'm going to be watching on HJBC timing. It's just that gap back to Soto is going to be an interesting one. He's got to make up, looks like 9 seconds to get into the battle for the podium. He's got to make up 14 to get to the lead. That's going to be hard.
In the back straight, Aaron Smith immediately goes right, having run a little wide through the second part of Moss. Ryan Puchtel is neck and neck with him. And about to move ahead and maybe have Jared Collins go too. 3 lanes in use over the crest. And Aaron Smith drops to the back of the pack behind Ryan Puchtel and Jared Collins.
Yeah, and if they work that efficiently, it'll be tough for anyone to make up ground. But last time by, they were 4.8 seconds back, and this time by, they're 5.8 seconds back. So Polasek's just found another gear. Runs a 32.0 last time by. Fastest lap of the race. Soto matches it, but then this lap runs a 33.4. Had to deal with some lap traffic. So we got a big battle for 2nd through 4th, and then we got another big battle for 7th through 11th going on. Pretty much all those guys are in contact. At least they were. Actually looks like a 6, 7, 8, and then a 9, 10, 11. But Matt McGee is holding on. He's in the middle. He's got Tim Wire ahead of him. He's got Colin Lounsbury behind. And McGee is holding the mantle for the Canadians. 10th place. Who's our best Australian racer today, Haynes?
Oh, sorry. Willpower was too busy flipping double birds to race. Joshua Soto, second stop. His dramas are on for second, third, and fourth here. Jared Collins side by side with Ryan Puchtel. The battle for second. Why is there a second stop for Joshua Soto?
I don't know. My only guess is I don't even know how there'd be a fueling error. Penalty on pit lane exit, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it's a drive-through, actually. What's his instant count? That wasn't quite that high.
I think he might just be done.
Yeah, lost his spot on the podium. He's not points racing. He's got his 2 championships in the bag. Just coming back for a glory run. It didn't work out today. So that'll leave us with Michael Polisek trying to pull away as Puchtel and Collins are running too wide. And Collins is showing that Baja Blast paint job, coming around the outside and making it work on the likes of Ryan Puchtel.
So plenty of great battles all throughout with 9 laps to go, but only a couple of them up front. Michael Polisek, 7.5 seconds clear of Collins, Puchtel and Smith. Here we have Tim Wyer, G and Colin Lounsbury. They are 12 seconds behind Ian Giebler and Alex Harrison. Bowie Suen leads Ryan Carwile, Bill Woods and Nick Love. TJ Yankee leads Sean Roberts, Orlando Harrell and Andy Cosick. So there's lots of groups of 3 or 4 cars all throughout.
Yeah, everyone's still working hard, staying in the rhythm. About 12 minutes left. Drivers are going to be starting to feel, that fatigue that comes running around a track. That takes a lot of focus like this. And Sean Roberts shows some of it, runs real wide there. Orlando Harrell had to take some evasive action to get out of the way. And that splits up the battle with TJ Yankee just a little bit. Brings Andy Cosick back into the picture. Cosick, of course, had that contact on lap 1. Cost him a whole lot. This is back to Tim Wyer, holding off the light Matt McGee and Colin Lounsbury as they come through the final set of corners here at Mosport. David Haynes, I got to say, I'm disappointed that there wasn't fog on the track in honor of just the perpetual cloud of smoke that hangs over Canada at this time of year. We'll have to work on that for next year's schedule.
Oh, we'll just break some piston rings next time.
Well, there's always plenty of clouds of smoke when you go racing around here. I'll give you that. Kind of hard to blow a motor in these things, though. Unless you do those sustained right-handers like you were talking about.
Can't remember if it's left or right-handers, but it's one of them where the G-force stops the oil getting to the pickup and you can damage your motor. So apparently you just overfill the oil significantly more than recommended and it'll still pick it up in high G corners. So I've heard. Bowie Suen from Ryan Carwile, Bill Woods just ahead of Nick Love. Cameron Senhauser looks to have caught the group in the last lap or so. Carwile's going to look around the outside of Bowie Suen for the lead of this pack.
Yeah, he's got a nice little draft. Nick Love was a little late on the move to get to the inside of Bill Woods behind him. It's just so fun how many ways there are to get around this last corner. Sets up real nice. Bill Woods does. he gets it right this time. He's going up the inside of that drive trainer car, Bowie Suin, and he does it like an old veteran. He puts Bowie out into the dirty stuff and pushes him wide, takes the inside line, and takes the advantage into the second corner. That was well executed.
Yeah, it was basically fully alongside, but just waited a tiny bit later to turn in at the inside of the corner. Moved ahead, now out in the grey. There's Nick Love. Cameron Senhauser will get alongside him.
Yeah, you can't...
Love needs this to be the driver with the most positions gained, currently tied with John Nicholford and Sean Roberts.
Woo! He's defending it like it is. Cameron Senhauser gets squeezed a little bit on the exit. Takes some evasive action. Michael Polisek's running up front and putting in laps. Is that the fastest off the race room? Yeah, that was another one. So while everyone's fighting, Polasek just keeps growing that gap. For those not watching the timing screens, 7.3 seconds now from Polasek to Collins. Whew. That got a little spicy there for just a second. Colin having to find his way past Puckdall. And all three of them making their way past the lap traffic of Will Warren, who's at the back of that group now. Warren out there having a good time. Looks like we've still got almost the entire field running. Aaron Brown, Josh Soto are off the track, but otherwise 31 cars still turning laps here. And all of them getting their entry into the draw if they manage to complete race 5, 6, 7, and 8. Don't have to be fast to win prizes in the ChampCar iRacing Series. Just have to show up and have a good time. Oh, and a nice over-under. Speaking of good times there, Jared Collins makes the move on Ryan Puckdall, sees how it's going to go on the last lap. And with a little bit of momentum, he's almost there. That could be what happens on the final lap. We'll have to see.
Kevin Collins sure is looking. Not sure around the outside of turn 2 is where I'd look. But to carry speed off that corner and then maybe look to the inside of 3. Oh, marbles have really built up.
Oh yeah, let's watch this. That's the Ryobi livery of Colin Lounsbury going the wrong way. And getting just mugged by about 5 cars there in the final corner. And he'll be charging back, you got to think. So that battle that Ryan Carwile is currently leading for 10th place is going to be a busy one, I have to think, in these last few minutes of the race. Already under pressure from Bill Woods, Bowie Suin, Nick Love, and Cameron Senhauser. Polisek's just pumping him in at this point. 131.79. Fastest car in qualifying, fastest car in the race. Showing why he's leading the championship right now. If you're looking for a renter, you better call this guy. He'll go put your car on a podium somewhere.
Spicy once again.
Salin decides discretion's the better part of valor. Does the blimp mobile strategy for getting some advertising time there as the podium drives by. And you love to see a battle like this where it's second, third, fourth, because you know that one of the guys isn't getting an interview, and they're all just fighting so hard because they want to come talk to us, Haynes.
Yeah, I'd say that's it. That's most likely. Aaron Smith's going to look to the inside of Ryan Puchtel here, and here's what happened to Nick Love. Whoa.
Yeah, that ends the race for Nick Love, unfortunately.
Still side by side for second, and round the outside of the penultimate corner, inside of the final corner. Aaron Smith into second place. And Puchtel won't give up on it. Jared Collins won't give up on it.
It's so close between those guys, but it's so close so many places on the track. I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the battles we have going on right now. That's the likes of Matt McGee and Tim Wire. The two of them have been glued together off camera for what feels like half an hour. It's been the last 5-6 laps where the two just are all over each other. Right now, Mac McGee is holding off Tim Wire in that Salence car. But we'll see. Ian Giebler and Alex Harrison have been glued together as well. They're coming through Moss this time. And that exit of Moss is a little bit treacherous. You got to get it just right. Harrison, he's gonna have to lock in. Maybe a little too much cheesesteak. He's not carrying the momentum he needs to up that hill.
Aaron Smith's been absolutely railroaded here by Ryan Puchtel and Jared Collins as they move up into second and third, and he drops from second to fourth. There will be 2 more laps. Michael Polasek up the road has not taken the white flag this time, but will next time. So it's just nary 5 miles of racing remaining for these drivers. Jared Collins down the inside of 1, doesn't get all the way cleared. You can carry so much momentum around the outside through fast sweeping corners. So Ryan Puchtel will hold on to second place going over the crest into 2.
Will be a question if Polasek's speed has gone fast enough to maybe surprise some of these guys with the distance of the race. Colin gets a little
not out of this, and behind them the lap down, I'm pretty sure is Scott Grinnell, who's pitted twice. So he's probably going to be happy, but also bittersweet that he's keeping pace with second, third, and fourth. He would just be in it. He might have been up there, but he's keeping track of their pace right now.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure this time. Collins breaks right. He's going to take the inside line into the first corner. But I think I like Puchtel's positioning here. If he can hold the outside, and it's easier to hold the outside. It's hard to make the move stick around the outside. Oh, but Puchtel, he checks it up a little bit, and Collins is going to get the advantage. So coming to the white flag. Oh, the momentum advantage is with Puchtel. And that's the white flag in the air, Haynes.
They're headed for an incredibly thrilling final lap in this podium battle. Michael Polasek, the championship leader, has waited oh so patiently till the final stage of the race to blast ahead to a 15-second lead. But second, third, fourth, you'd have absolutely no idea. It'll come down to the run out of Moss Corner, the positioning down the Andretti Straight, and the way that they battle through the S's. That's what we're looking for now on the final lap, with the checkered flag not too far away. Collins has got that second place for the moment, just 2 car lengths ahead of Ryan Puchtel, heading into the slowest part of the racetrack, Moss Corner.
Oh, and it's a jab up the inside there for Smith, but not quite enough.
So Collins leads them onto the straight, immediately goes to the right-hand side. Puchtel follows him. Aaron Smith follows him. sitting just off the rear bumper, almost deliberately at this point. Now pulls out to the left-hand side. Aaron Smith goes with him. Up ahead of them, 15 seconds up ahead of them. The checkered flag is waiting for Michael Polasek to take another win in the ChampCar iRacing Series for 2025. Who's joining him on the podium? This is that battle. Jared Collins bombs it in super deep. Aaron Smith run off the road. Is there a crossover? A switchback headed to the checkered flag. Jared Collins ahead of Ryan Puchtel in a photo finish at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Sean Fritz is going to take it to the line easy, but Ian Giebler and Alex Harrison are fighting hard as they come through the final corner. Ian Giebler's got the inside line. Does he have the momentum? We'll have another photo finish for 5th and 6th, or 6th and 7th. Alex Harrison looks like he finishes 7th. Tim Wire holds off the likes of Matt McGee. He's only going to get 9th place, but leading the way for the Canadian flag. Ryan Carwell coming to the line, driving the Hokie-themed mobile with Bill Woods right behind him. Bowie Sewin has a great finish in 12th place with Colin Lounsbury making it up in 12th place, and it's been a little bit of chaos in the Sennhauser sandwich, I think. Looks like John Nicholford's going to drive past the two of them. Cameron Sennhauser, Logan Sennhauser finished back-to-back 15th and 16th. 17th place going to go to Aaron Reed. TJ Yankee crosses the line. Sean Roberts, Andy Cossack, Orlando Harrell have been battling for a while, and it's going to be in that order that they cross the line. Looks like Cindy Pickett and Stephen Hermetz are fighting. Cindy might be out of fuel. Oh, and splutters as they go across the line. Stephen Hermetz takes the spot away, and the last car on the lead lap, Kevin Collins, holding on. And 2nd place goes to the younger, 24th place to the older.
Well, you could watch that race again from anyone's perspective. Oh, there's your Rolls GR86. Are you happy now, Devon?
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Poor thing. Well, it's definitely not going to get an EOL pickup in that position. Yeah, you could watch this race again from anyone's perspective, and it would be incredibly thrilling. We focused on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but then you saw to the checkered flag how many great battles between drivers there were all the way to the end of this 60-minute race. Michael Polasek takes a commanding win and the 50 points that go along with it. And then behind him, Jared Collins and Ryan Puchtel. Aaron Smith just locked out of the podium by a narrow margin. Sean Fritz with a great pit strategy was a bit lonely in the back half, but finishes 5th ahead of Ian Giebler, Alex Harrison, Tim Wire, Matt McGee, and Ryan Carwile.
Yeah, and 6 races in, that's a 5th win for Polasek. So building that lead up.
Critically, again, those drivers, Jared Collins and Ryan Puchtel, are on the podium with him, not letting him build too much of an advantage. Bill Woods finished 11th, Bowie Sewin, Colin Lounsbury, John Nicholford, Cameron Sennhauser, Logan Sennhauser, Aaron Reed, TJ Yankee, Sean Roberts, and Andy Cossack as the top 20. Orlando Harrell finished 21st. From the Canadian battle, Steve Hermetz and Cindy Pickett. Looking like Pickett may have just run out of fuel right at the end there and got beaten to the checkered flag. Kevin Collins in 24th. Kyle Guillory, Will Warren, Zach Balthazar, Brian Tidd, Scott Grinnell, 1 lap down. Bill Salen, 2 laps down. Nick Love, 4 laps down. Joshua Soto, 11 laps down. And Aaron Brown, 15.
And as we look to the podium, Ryan Puchtel finishing in 3rd place. It was you, Collins, and Aaron Smith there coming to the line, and it was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, that was some really great racing by both Jarrett and Aaron. It's exactly what you want to see, right?
Yeah, it looked like you guys were the match for each other tonight. Seemed like you were pushing each other the whole race.
Yeah, we're pretty close on pace, so it made the racing pretty close, and they're pretty respectful drivers, so you can push it with them.
Now, in the first half of the race, it looked like you folks might have a little something to say for Polasek there, but by the time the pit stop came around, he kind of disappeared.
Yeah, just like looking at his practice times, he was he had quite the pace on us, so I kind of expected him just to disappear.
Quality drive for you. You finish in third place and continue to stack some points. Third place in the championship as well.
Yeah, looking forward to some more.
Well, good to have you out, and thanks for putting on a good show for the fans out there. Anyone you need to thank today?
Just a shout out to my team at SimCity Racing, and thank you guys also for your broadcast.
Cheers. We appreciate you, Ryan.
All right, see you.
Well, then next on the podium was Jared Collins, who joins us now. Really hot race at the end there.
Hey, guys.
So going back and forth after those pit stops, yourself, Aaron Smith, Ryan Puchtel, swapping, changing, trying out every possible line through the S's at the end of the lap.
Yeah, that was a wild race. Hats off to Ryan and Aaron. Everyone's racing super hard, but super clean. With both those guys, like everyone is going to give you everything you can handle and knock over the line. That was a ton of fun, just back and forth doing circles amongst each other, and kind of musical chairs of who's going to be leading at the last second.
Any thoughts of any of you pulling your finger out and giving Michael Polasek a bit of a challenge?
I think had we been maybe within a second, I think we could have gotten in a line and tracked him down. I think we all knew that we were kind of at best on pace, probably a tenth or two slower. I don't know that we could have gotten in a line. Maybe if I didn't really screw up out of the pit stop and kind of slow up the whole train, we might have had a prayer. But once we were kind of, 3 seconds back, I don't think we had a prayer of catching him in the last 20 minutes or so. And then there's quite a big gap back to fourth. So it's all right. Let's have fun amongst each other.
Yeah, and you certainly did, and you get yourself another podium, you take more points, and it's a long year yet to come. Any tracks, cars, things you're looking forward to this season?
I'm kind of looking forward to Sebring next week. Me and the M2 are still getting accustomed to each other, but just Sebring's a lot of fun. And then Road America is my home track. So final race of the year. Definitely excited for that one too.
Be exciting. We're looking forward to it. Anyone you want to thank?
Again, thank you guys for putting this on. Lots of fun. Thanks to Tire Rack. Thanks to my wife for letting me spend lots of hours on the rig doing these races. So a lot of fun.
We'll catch you around.
Thank you.
And Devon, there's one person left.
Yeah, and that's Michael Polasek. 6 races, 5 wins, and putting a stamp on the 2025 ChampCar iRacing Series is Michael.
Yeah, this was an interesting race for sure. There's not a lot of braking zones here other than Moss and turn 3, so it's extremely hard to save fuel here. At the start, I gave myself maybe 2 laps to hopefully break away from the field. I got up to about 8/10, and then Josh started finding his pace, so unfortunately that just wasn't possible. So it was just a matter of saving fuel, staying in P2, and just preparing myself for the end of the race. I got very lucky that Josh unfortunately missed his pit box, and I think accidentally took 4 tires. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. He was really quick, and it would have been a pretty close race between me and him if he had a good stop. But fortunately, I was able to exit out with a comfortable lead, and I was just able to put in decent laps, avoid traffic, and close it out.
I heard in the pre-race that there was a secret pit strategy that was helping you out.
Yeah, I figured that you could take a front left tire, which gets destroyed around here for free. So I was able to do that without wasting any additional time, and that allowed me to have much better pace second stint.
And that much better pace showed up. You were flying out there. as a guy from the home of the Moose, I was quite impressed by the speed you were able to put up around here. Any secrets for Mosport for the uninitiated?
It's all pretty much about maintaining momentum, especially in this car. A lot of the corners flow really nicely, so you don't really have to turn the wheel that much and just let the camber of the track and your pedal work do most of the work. Moss is the only really difficult corner here. You just have to pick a point on the track, brake really hard, and hope that the car sticks. If you get it right, either you'll overslow the car a little bit or just get it just right and be able to get on throttle super early before you hit that big curb at the second apex. If you get it wrong, then the car just sort of skates over the track and you understeer and you lose a lot of time. It's a really difficult corner, and it took me a decent amount of the race to eventually figure it out.
Well, you sure had her figured out by the end there, bud. That was a great race. Really, really impressive performance. Anyone you need to thank for the show tonight?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, thank you to Rockwell Autosport Development for all the work they put in at Watkins Glen in the ChampCar races there. I really enjoyed my stints there, and they're a great team, great group of guys to work with, and produce some really good cars. Thank you to everybody at GeForce Racing for all the work they put in. Thank you to Track Level Up, and thank you to my friends and family for watching and providing their support.
Well, cheers, Michael, to another race, and we'll see you next time out at Sebring International. Should be a good one.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we have it. Over an hour of racing, Michael Polasek extends his championship lead. Great battles all throughout. Super close for the reasons our drivers spoke about. A lot of time at full throttle, high average speeds, not a lot of braking zones around here. Next race, not too far away, June 18th at Sebring International Raceway. The BMW M2 comes back out of the stable, and we hope you'll join us for that. David Haynes with Devin Peters, Michael Derby bringing you the ChampCar iRacing series. That is round 6 completed.